Tim.
And I'm Jenna.
And welcome to Tim and Vena Adventures.
Hi everyone, welcome to our channel.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So before we start this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe and click the bell button for more updates.
Click the bell button, this button right here for more updates.
Yes, so salam bachi habi channel imakush amadid Tim Vena hastim. So today's video we will do Rumi. So who is Rumi the poet? So
The famous Persian poet.
Let's get
Let's get started.
Persia has long been the symbol and cradle of mysticism, wisdom, and enlightenment. So it has nurtured numerous famous names in these areas. One of these well-known people is His Excellency Maulana Jalaluddin Muhammad Balkhi, also known as Rumi or Mawlavi. As Persian kingdoms stretched so far and included many regions in the world, people were able to benefit from Rumi in his many journeys, calling him the Lord. In a sense, he can be considered a poet, scholar, and philosopher who is the symbol of religious openness, as in his poems he continuously endeavors to free himself and others from shackles of rigid and inflexible rules of this world. As a poet, he always was a proponent of forsaken values such as friendship, love, loyalty, truth, and covenant. Therefore, it may be claimed that Rumi's poems can compete and even surpass their Western counterparts. It seems that this famous poet and scholar had long known life and philosophy of the West. Consequently, he is highly well known and more popular than other Persian poets by Western world. He has depicted philosophical and moral concepts with language of love and freedom. Rumi is not just a poet, scholar, and philosopher. He's a treasure which is timeless. Nowadays, Rumi's popularity among Western readers of literature has reached a level that they take refuge to his poems for retrospection, life, and freeing themselves from ambiguity and anxiety of today's life to arrive to peace and serenity within. Rumi's life. Rumi's birthplace and life was in what is now parts of Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Turkey, which were mostly under Persian kingdom in those days. As a result, Rumi's works are translated in these countries as well and are truly popular. Rumi has become a treasure for countries of Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Turkey. His influence, thoughts, and culture are clearly observed in these regions. His distinctive vision of the world is laid on the foundation of the idea that all things are manifestation of pure and eternal love, no matter what shape, race, or religion they have. In Turkey, Rumi is considered beyond a poet, and many praise him as a lord. Sultan Walad, his eldest son, and Uluwa Arif Chalbi, his grandson, each founded a separate school of thought from Rumi and called them Mawlaviya Tariqa. His father was Muhammad ibn Hussein Khatibi, whom was mainly called Bahauddin or Sultan al-Ulama, for his exceptional knowledge and character. Bahauddin left Balkh in his youth, and on his pilgrimage.
we know Rumi as a great poet, but we didn't know this,
The family, no.
Yeah.
All these details. Yeah, the first time I came across Rumi was many years ago. I have this kind of poetry music album. It's called Hashishin. There was some poetry by Rumi in that one. Yeah, and it was similar to this kind of music in the background here. So it was Rumi's poetry, but recited to music. And it seems like that's quite common, right, in Persian tradition that you recite Rumi and then you play like music and
like that kind of background music.
Exactly. Yeah.
To Mecca for Hajj, in the city of Nishapur, met Sheikh Attar. Jalaluddin Rumi was a child back then. and received admiration on the version of Asrarname from Attar Nishapuri. Rumi kept this book by his side all the time. The main reason for Baha'u'ddin and his family's immigration from Balkh was his disagreement with Khwarezmian dynasty ruler of that time and the pressure from the government. In addition, Mongols' invasion of Persia, massacring people and looting their lands, threatened the lives of scholars and poets. During these times, Alauddin Keyqubad Seljuk from Konya invited Baha'u'ddin to his hometown. Rumi was 13 years old then. After a long journey through many cities, Baha'u'ddin and his entourage finally settled in Konya. After Baha'u'ddin's death in Konya and with his followers' request, Rumi, now a 25-year-old man, succeeded his father and started teaching knowledge and Irfan concepts. 2 years later, he embarked on his first journey to Sham or Levant. Rumi also went to Halab after leaving Sham and continued his teachings of philosophy and mysticism. Rumi's romantic and passionate description of Sham and Damascus is inferred as an evidence of him meeting Shams Tabrizi for the first time in these cities. Rumi met Shams Tabrizi in 642 Hijri when he was 38 years old, and this meeting deeply impacted his life. Preceding that, he made great efforts in educating himself and his students in the fields of mysticism. But Shams Tabrizi opened his eyes to fresh new perspectives. There are many stories of Rumi's first meeting with Shams, but what is consistent in all of them is influence of Shams Tabrizi's words on Rumi's soul. Rumi had spent all his life studying before meeting Shams. Shams got Rumi to have revelations, and in his own words, he learned that everything there is within me. Rumi's love toward Shams Tabrizi and his companionships with him infuriated Rumi's followers and fans. Shams Tabrizi lived quite differently from scholars in his own time, and in the eyes of society, he was a bacchanal man concerned only with pleasures of flesh, and continuously was called a sorcerer and made fun of by Rumi's followers. In the end, Shams Tabrizi immigrated to Damascus from Konya. Rumi's companionship with Shams only lasted 16 months, and he became depressed and anguished after Shams left. Seeing this considerable change in behavior and Rumi's indifference toward themselves, his followers resented what they had done and sought his forgiveness. He finally forgave them and sent his son and 20 of his followers to Damascus to bring Shams back. Shams, who had spent 15 months in Damascus, accepted Rumi's invitation and returned to Konya. But this return was short-lived, as the situation had worsened, and this time he left Konya for good and left no trace of himself. Between 645 to 647 Hijri, Rumi traveled to Damascus 4 times and stayed there for months in search of Shams, but found no clues of Shams' whereabouts. He finally returned to Konya and stayed there until his death. Masnavi Manavi, or spiritual couplets, and Divan Shams Tabrizi are 2 masterpieces by Rumi which became poems after his separation from Shams, and comparing these works with the one written before their encounter, called Majalis Sabaya, clearly demonstrates the impact Shams had on him. In our literature, Rumi and Shams' story have been the foundation for creation of exemplary works for long times. Rumi passed away because of high fever and sickness at the age of 66. His family and descendants were by his bed during his last moments of life. And after his death, people of Konya, from Muslims to Christians and Jews, mourned his passing away for 40 days. Rumi excelled in Islamic learnings and knowledge as well. He is also unique in his expressions of ideas which are quite close to Western existentialism. Rumi is not just a poet, he's a treasure which is timeless.
Wow. He is not just a poet, he's a treasure.
Yeah,
I love that.
No, I love this. I love this video. It's interesting. Here at the end, it mentions that he has influence, like, or is like similar to existentialism. There's like a philosophical train of thought. What do you call it? Like a philosophy? Just a philosophy. That I think, like Søren Kierkegaard is one of the big existentialist philosophers. And I think it's about like kind of reflecting of your existence and everything. And yeah, Rumi is he doesn't just like promote like religious dogma, but also like exploring yourself and understanding yourself.
Yeah. Yes, so this video is from Life Goes On in Iran. So you can just follow him as well and watch all his videos about Iran. Yes, so hope guys you like this video, and before we end this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell button for more updates. So once again, thank you so much. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.